I'm Charles Epting from HR Harmer in New York City,
And I'm Michael Cortese, NobleSpirit in Pittsfield, New Hampshire.
and this is Conversations with Philatelists.
So, Charles, a few weeks back, we did an episode where we talked just about ourselves. We kind of interviewed each other and talked about our businesses, how we got started in the hobby and everything. And
It's probably our lowest rated episode yet.
well, I'm looking forward to this one because it's probably on par with that.
This was a great idea you had, though. When you mentioned this to me a couple of weeks ago, I thought this was a really fun concept that I wouldn't have necessarily come up with myself.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Not too many. I know for us specifically, I can't speak for you, but not too many people see our building because we're completely online. So we're completely. There's no walk-in traffic unless consigners come to drop stuff off. Or
We occasionally get people who want to bring in a collection, or somebody wants to pick up their auction lots. But no, for us, we're still fairly newcomers to New York City. A little more than a year now. I know you visited our office last year.
yeah, yeah,
You're one of the few who've seen it in person. But no, for those in a country this big, it's not like London or Germany where everything is so centrally located. Here, there's people across the country and across the world. So I think it'll be fun to show people where it is we spend our days.
yeah. Actually, that's a great point. We should tell people what we're doing. So we're just gonna be we're just gonna be walking through our buildings. Charles has recorded himself walking through downtown Manhattan and showing the architecture and HR Harmer. No,
More architecture than HR Harmer, to be honest. I get distracted by the by the complex. So and you're going to give us a tour of NobleSpirit's
yeah. There's a
home
couple
base as well.
a couple photos of the outside of the building, and then I kind of just as briskly as I can, while still being able to film everything, walk through the building because it's 3 floors. So I tried to do it briskly, but it still came out to 8 minutes. But
So we've got nearly as many rooms as you have floors. It's incredible. Real estate must be cheaper up there than it is in
I'd
Midtown,
imagine, yeah,
on
I'd
50th
imagine.
Street. So awesome. So I guess I'm going to go first. I'll start with my tour of Rockefeller Center / HR Harmer's operation.
Yeah, I'm excited to almost relive it.
You know what? There were many more people out and about last time you were here. The city's a bit different now.
But we can Photoshop some people in.
So is this working?
Yes, that's working perfectly. My movie 1, I see, which is and then
Great title. That was the
it's
title I chose when I was playing out my inner Scorsese fantasies this morning
right.
and piecing together my documentary about New York. So let's get started. So I guess I could have started the video. I take the train into Grand Central Station every morning, and it's a quick little walk from Grand Central to the office. So this building that you can see, the big tall one, is our building. That's 45 Rockefeller Plaza. So I'm walking up Fifth Avenue right now. You can see a serious lack of pedestrians these days. Although certainly more populated than it would have been a couple of months ago when I would run into the office just to check the mail. So I'm crossing Fifth Avenue here. This is sort of a roundabout way to get to the office, I'm going to be honest, because I wanted to show off as much of the architecture as possible. So we'll get to the office eventually, but I hope you'll oblige me for a couple of minutes here.
No,
so
of course. That's a
when
great
we
transition.
the sort of circle out, I don't remember what it's called, but I thought it was a nice touch. So when we decided to move to New York City, we toured a bunch of office buildings. It was a lot of fun. I felt like I was window shopping. So I looked at about 15 offices in 2 days, which was jam-packed, but a lot of fun. And I'm sure many people who are listening to this know me. And for those who don't, I'm a big architecture buff, and especially a big 1930s Art Deco buff and aficionado, which will come up again when you see my office in a couple of minutes. So not only did we want an office that was centrally located, but when you have a company that was founded in 1940, has a lot of history, has an image to uphold, I selfishly wanted a building that I thought fit that image. I didn't want to be in some ultra modern skyscraper or something. So Rockefeller Center, the second I took a tour of it with the building managers, I fell in love with it. I'd actually fallen in love with it before I took a tour of it. But you can see the art, the Rockefeller family, when they were building this in the 30s, was very serious about wanting to put public art all around the complex. So there you can see St. Patrick's and Saks Fifth Avenue, which recently reopened. And here is the, I think they call it Chanel Gardens on the left. So all of the buildings in Rockefeller Center are named after different countries. So the building on the left is the French Pavilion or the British Pavilion, and the one on the right is the French Pavilion. And then the center concourse leading up to 30 Rock, where NBC is right in the middle there. And I'll pan up to it in a second. That's the tallest building in the complex. And then there's the French building. Nice transition there. And then you can see that's where the rink is during the winter. You can see the statue of Prometheus by Paul Manship, which has been there since the complex opened. Basically, during the summer months, it is a restaurant down there. Normally, it's, again, much busier than this, but they're sort of going through a lot. And this quote from John D. Rockefeller Jr., I try and read it every morning because it's how I try and live my life, and it's how I try and run the company. So this quote is a big inspiration. I'm not going to expect everybody to pause and read it, but I think it's just fantastic. So anyways, that's a big part of why I like this complex so much, is the role model that the Rockefeller family set. So again, Prometheus, 30 Rock, and then that's our building that you saw for a second, 45 Rockefeller. So this is walking east on 50th Street towards Fifth Avenue. Again, this is not the way I usually go into the office. This is sort of a roundabout way, but I wanted to take as much video as possible. So I'm going down 50th. There's Saks Fifth Avenue again. There's St. Patrick's again behind the tree. And you come around, make a left, head north on Fifth Avenue. And so I mentioned that I'm going to pause really quick. If I'm going on too long, I want you to cut me off.
No, that's perfect.
So as I mentioned, every building was named, or a lot of the buildings were named after different countries. It was almost like a permanent World's Fair, where there was the British Empire Pavilion and the French Pavilion, and that building you see where the American flags are coming out of, that's the Italian. No, I'm sorry, the one immediately on the left is the Italian Pavilion. Okay. This whole building, though, was built in 1935. This is the building that Aja Harmer's in, and it was supposed to be the German Pavilion. And as the building was nearing completion, the Rockefeller family looked at what was going on in Germany in 1935, and they weren't big fans of it. They didn't think it would be very becoming to have a German pavilion. So they decided to call the whole building the International Building. They thought, if we can't find a replacement country, we'll just make it the International Building. So that's what it's still called to this day, is the International Building. And as I turn the corner, you can see Atlas, social distancing, and wearing a face mask. Don't worry, he's following Governor Cuomo's rules. So the statue of Atlas has been outside of our building since 1935. You can see it says International Building, 630 Fifth Avenue, or 45 Rockefeller Plaza, through the revolving door. And I think that, so this is what I first saw when I toured the office, and I just fell in love with the gold paint. I think that it's a 4-story lobby. It's the largest lobby in Rockefeller Center. There's a statue of Charles Lindbergh. That's kind of a philatelic connection. It wasn't added until the 1980s, I don't think, but still kind of fun that he flew the airmail for us. And that was actually, I believe, a passport office, that second floor, when the building opened in 1935. Now it's a lounge for tenants. You can go have a cup of coffee up there or whatnot. So this lobby, again, 4 stories, gold gilt ceilings and everything. I think it's very impressive. I am thrilled every time I get to walk in the office each morning. So we're walking towards the elevators now. I really like the ceiling, so I kept filming it. Heading towards the elevator. That's all right. Now we're in the elevator. So we're on the 26th floor. Previously in California, we were on the ground floor. We had a loading dock, and it was very easy to get in and out of the building because we had, a warehouse and whatnot. It's very much easier to, to get boxes in and get boxes out if you're on the ground floor. But now we're on the 26th floor, which is a huge logistical challenge for us at times. But it's been fun to sort of re-envision the company and have to work around that. So, still on the elevator, should be getting off in a moment. I love the elevators are original to the building from the 1930s.
Oh, wow.
The wood paneling and everything. Again, I don't mean to just go on about the architecture, but that's
yeah.
it's what I love most about this building. And you can see there we are, Suite 2607. If anyone's looking for office space, that place has been looking to lease for as long as we've been here. So I'm walking down the hall, and here we are at H.R. Harmer.
It's a nice door.
Thank you. So then you come inside. I recently rearranged the office, and it's kind of a work in progress. So as you can see off to the right, this is our library slash lounge, for lack of a better term. We have seats. We're getting a couch in. It's going to be, where we can do research, hang out, meet with customers, appraise consignments and whatnot. So that's immediately when you walk in. Pan to the left, that sign used to grace our building in California, and somehow we were able to get it pried off the building and dragged all the way to New York. It's one of the last remnants of the California office that we have. You can see consignments coming in. This is part 3 of the Bill Byerly collection of Nicaragua, which will be sold this coming December.
Nice.
We've been selling that for over a year now, and this is basically what's left of it. So that's what our consignments and such look like. This is my office manager Angela's office with a beautiful view. You can see
what a view.
So you can see Central Park. If it weren't for, you could see more of it if it weren't for all these. And anybody who is friends with me on Facebook knows my opinions on modern architecture. So if it weren't for these buildings, you could see more of Central Park. But at the very least, we do get a little bit of it. Not from this angle, but in that little cluster of buildings in the foreground, you can actually see MoMA from our office as well. Those apartments I'm going to stop with the architecture comments. Never mind that. We'd be here in like 20 minutes and I'd still be telling you. So here's my office. I'll go back to these books in a second. Those are a complete run of H.R. Harmer catalogs. And again, similar view out my office window. So
Nice.
More than anything, I just wanted to share my little trinkets and tchotchkes that I have accumulated, which is I like my office because there's so much of my stuff here. So all sorts of little, a little picture of the silent film actor Tom Mix and political campaign buttons from the 1930s. I like collecting postal memorabilia as well. So my girlfriend Olivia got me these 2 little post office boxes from the 1930s. I especially love the one on the right. I just like collecting postal memorabilia. I have a little postal scale there as well. And then these are the H.R. Harmer catalogs. H.R. Harmer has changed hands a number of times since we were founded in 1940 in New York City. And over the years, many of our records and, reference collections and whatnot have been lost, sold, changed hands. And these catalogs, which take up 3 full bookshelves to my right now, but I don't think you can see me, so I don't know why I just motioned to them.
No, we can.
Oh, can you still see me? Okay, then the catalogs are these bookshelves here are all the catalogs. A complete run of New York catalogs going back to 1940, London catalogs from about the 1950s, all leather bound. These have belonged, with the company since the company's inception. So these were passed down from Henry Harmer himself to Bernard Harmer, and again, they were moved to New Jersey, moved to Connecticut, moved to California, now moved back to New York. Would have saved a lot on shipping had we been in New York this whole time.
Yeah.
But they're sort of the last remaining link to the past. So that's why these catalogs are so important to me, is they're a tangible reminder of our company's history. So that's how I'm going to conclude my tour of the office. Again, footprint wise, not the biggest office, but when you're in Midtown, you don't need that much room. We made a conscious decision that we were going to downsize on the one hand from the office we had in California to the office we have in New York. But at the same time, I think certainly being on 50th and 5th is, mentally and spiritually a lot more important in the stamp business than being in Tustin, California. No offense to Tustin, California, but I hazard to guess that most people couldn't locate it on a map. I'm not even sure I could after working there for 3 years. So that's a quick run through of day in the life of H.R. Harmer, our office, our operations, and I hope everyone found it interesting. And I'm sorry if I focused on the Art Deco architecture a little bit too much.
No, that's great.
So did that work? Was that okay?
Yeah, no, that was perfect. That was perfect. Going to be a lot less architecture in mine.
Yeah, you're going to be a lot more stamps.
Well,
or at least more. It's hard to get less stamps than mine, but
all right.
Cool. So now it's your turn.
Yeah, so perfect. So I'll give a quick tour of our facility, as quick as it can be. We
Fantastic.
moved it.
You have visited us, but I haven't visited you yet.
I
So
know this will be,
this is the first time for me as well. I'm excited.
yeah. So I'll share this. Yeah, you see that?
That's cool. I see it.
So we bought this building about 5 or 6 years ago. Once we started expanding, it's on the river, so everything that's behind here, it's like a dead drop. We've got storage out here. We actually own the building that's to the left of it as well. That's storage as well for our inventory. So I do a quick three. Ignore the pan-ins.
I feel like I'm in a Ken Burns documentary.
Yeah, iMovie thought I was graduating. So that back there, I'm sorry, right back there, this is our kind of loading dock for UPS and everything, and then that was just a quick shot of the river behind us. It's usually much.
That's where the consignments you don't want to sell go.
Right. So this is me walking in the front door. This is kind of the entrance, and these are some of our stations for the photographers. We've got a number of them working from home, but there are people, as you can see the mask hanging, working in the office just socially distanced, so like no one can be within 2 desks of each other. That's one of our head catalogers. See all the Scott catalogs, and then this is the second listing room I'm coming upon here. So everybody just kind of sits at their own desk. They get their own computer, camera, and then have lecterns to put albums on or individual stamps. Walking into the shipping station now, keeping current with the big bottle of hand sanitizer. These are where we keep listed individual items, so individual stamps or pages collections we keep in there. I'm going to ignore that room to the left because it's our administrative office, and there's a lot of consignor names on the walls that I didn't want to take down. But this is our shipping station, so everything that's packed for shipping to customers goes out of there. We've got some USPS priority mail boxes here, as one does. Off to the left, I don't think I pan to them right now, are UPS boxes. I do pan to them. More boxes, and then this room is our bay area, but it's also storage for larger lots. The first storage place for larger lots. Got a fridge, microwave for people, and then this is, I'm going to close this door now just to show kind of how this works. The UPS and USPS pickup area are kind of locked off from the rest of the building so that people picking up or dropping off to the Bay Area can't access the listed consignment material, and then that kind of locks there. But this next thing I pan to is one of my favorite features about the Bay Area is our sorting station, or the entire sorting room for the stamps is on the second floor. So we bought and installed this conveyor belt system to bring large consignments up. You can see some on the left that I haven't brought in yet. They go up to the second floor there. It holds a ton of weight. We've put at least 35, 40 boxes at a time on there. So the thing has just been incredible for us. So now I'll go up to the second floor, walking through the shipping station, and the entire building's a circle. So when I came in through that's the employee entrance there on the right, which has to be locked at night, of course. And then another closed entrance. Come up the stairs on the right here. I'm just gonna pause it real quick. This is for the lady in shipping. If she wants to bring a box down from upstairs that's over 40 pounds, this thing here actually used to be one of those electric chairs that people would sit in and come up and down, and we fashioned it with a mail basket here so that it can go up and down the stairs and carry boxes for people, so they don't have to carry boxes up and down the stairs. And then on the right here, I think I open it, is the entrance to the conveyor belt, and then I kind of look down at that latch.
Have you ever taken a ride down it?
Yes, so many, almost daily, because just sometimes things get caught on the ceiling, and it holds weight. It does. So that's kind of a look down into there. The conveyor belt comes up, and then on the left, that's more storage for people. That's a consignment that just came in that I have not brought into the sorting room yet. More storage for items that
that's
are
where you
listed
spend your paycheck at the slot machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's an item that we haven't listed yet. So this is all stuff to be listed, stuff we've already sorted on these shelves. And then this kind of bucket is for more individual stamps that we're going to put online, but haven't yet. The photographers still have to come up, grab those items, take photos of them, and post them. So that's stuff yet to be listed. Those are all items that are already on eBay. And then this room here is kind of where the magic happens, if you will. This room's my office.
When you say magic, you mean podcast?
Yes, podcast. Sorry. It's where the podcast at. So this long desk here, that's where I'm sitting right now. You can see the microphone. This is a consignment behind me that we've been working on for a long time. These things came completely unidentified, uncatalogued, so we've had to strip everything out of the albums while still working on everything else. And then this is my favorite room. This is our sorting room here. Most everything comes to us raw, so each table here is kind of designated to either our own material or consignment items that come in. So if one consignor sends us 20 boxes, everything goes on that table and nothing else touches the table until that consignment is done. So we know not to mix things up. And then all this stuff that's not labeled because it's our own inventory, as well as this. But consignment items get labeled in big permanent marker, so we don't mix anything up. And they have their own designated, that's a different collection. Everything under this table here is a different collection. And then this woman here is working on just attributing covers and individual stamps, pulling them out of albums and counter books and stuff like that. Sorting topical stamps, and then that's another consignment that came in quite a while ago. And then more of that table. So everything on that table is one collection, if you will. Everything under these tables is one collection. Everything on top of here is one collection. Yep, same thing with that. Those are all one massive cover collection we received that we've got not sorted in any way, shape or form. So we've got to kind of break that down into the different countries and continents. One final consignment. And then the third floor, I think I pan over to just do a whole view of the floor. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this part. So when we bought this building, the third floor had no floor. It was just this had all collapsed. So instead of building a new floor, we decided to build a catwalk here that looks down upon the second floor. The third floor is almost, it's just for conference room, kind of employee training, everything like that, and my father's desk. So you take a walk up here, and there's not a lot in this room, but we've got a sofa, the conference table. That's my father's desk. You can see all the way over there. I think I pan around to just, that's for photo instructions for employees, and then I kind of look over the catwalk down onto the second floor. That thing holds weight. That sofa that you saw there before, we had to hoist up onto the catwalk with 4 people. And then these 2 desks are for our programmers who are working on building a new software that we use on eBay to list material, inventory management, everything like that. Consignment, that's my father's desk, and then that is the end. That's just a view onto the river. And then that's our office. I think I've entered. Yeah, there.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, so that's a brisk walk through our building, if you will. Yeah.
That was great. I still, as great as that was to see, I still want to come up and visit them. What didn't,
Yeah, absolutely.
That didn't take care of my desire to travel up north.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot more to it. That was kind of just a brief overview, but that was I'd love to have you up and kind of show you absolutely everything.
We can do an episode of the podcast live, well, not live, but recorded from NobleSpirit.
Well, same for you.
Let's do remotes. Let's do like on location episodes.
That'd be fantastic.
Would be a lot of fun. So I thought this is a great idea. We should periodically check back in when we get a fun consignment or something, and let's I thought that keep giving people a peek into our existence outside of Zoom.
Yeah, I've never really watched, and I'm sure other people haven't watched a consignment being broken down for traditional auction and how it's placed into catalog and everything like that.
That would be fun to do sort of a how you guys break down a consignment versus how we break down a consignment. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Let's keep mixing up the format and doing things like this. Again, they're not just us interviewing each other. Yeah. This was great. Usually we end with asking each other. I feel like, how are we supposed to do an outro when it's just been us? There's not much to follow up. No, I think this was the outro. Yeah, perfect. So our guest coming up on Monday is David Ball. Yeah, from the American Airmail Society. Exactly. Excellent. So anybody watching this, David Ball will be coming up in a couple of days. Yeah. And anybody watching this after tomorrow, after Thursday, David S. Ball will already be online by then. Enjoy. Just go find that episode. Exactly. You can go watch all of our back episodes on YouTube, or you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean. Yeah. So philatelypodcast.com and you always said the line. philatelypodcast@gmail.com. So I forgot to do in the intro to this episode, I forgot to mention that this was a video episode, that people listening should probably go on YouTube and watch. You know what, this might be the worst podcast ever. If speaking in technical terms, if you're listening to us like, hey, look over there, that's we don't even give that's where we do the imaging. We don't even try and describe it. So this is much better appreciated on video. We should have kicked off with that. We should have started with that. Shouldn't be the last thing we tell people. Right. We forgot to do that. I forgot to do that with the Isabel episode also. If they've made it this far, I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Take a look on YouTube. Exactly. Go back and do the whole thing again, but with video. Our inexperience is perhaps charming. Well, we try to keep it free flowing. Speaking, we didn't want to bog people down with too much information at the beginning. We were so excited to get to the video that no, but for anybody still listening, I mean, we don't come up with questions before. We don't email the interviewers with questions beforehand. We kind of just everything that you're hearing from the people that we're interviewing, we just throw at them in the moment. I think people can tell that just by listening. I don't think anybody has ever accused us of being prepared, too formatted, professional. No. That's something nobody will ever throw at us. That we're too slick. Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. I like these freeform episodes. I like when we're not. That's all of them. But that's true. I like that we're not tied down to any sort of structure. Sometimes I listen to podcasts. My other podcast is way too structured for my liking. So the fact that this one is so easygoing is what makes it fun. Right, yeah. We can plug that. We can plug my other pod, the Lost Labels podcast, where I interview punk and new wave musicians from the late 70s and early 80s. Mm-hmm. So, I'd mentioned our email address before. If anybody has we'd mentioned some ideas back and forth to each other.
looking at how an auction house breaks down their consignments. If anybody has anything that they want us to cover, not that we're
Yeah.
not,
What do
like,
you?
yeah.
No, but what do you want to see? I feel like a lot of people who maybe they've only bought at auction, or maybe, and when I say auction, I mean both eBay and traditional auction house, because it's
Yeah.
effectively a similar process. I think a lot of people maybe have a lot of questions or misconceptions about what goes on behind the scenes. So, absolutely, if there's something you want to see, or part of the process that you'd like to find out how it works, philatelypodcast@gmail.com, and
Yeah.
we'd be more than happy to give you guys a peek behind the curtain again.
We definitely would. And you have that those credentials now, right? I gave you the password.
Never.
Okay, I'll send that again.
No, you text
the
me
first
every day,
time.
and you've never sent me the password. So if you email us, Michael will get your email and hopefully relay it to me.
Yeah, I just screenshot everything and send it to Charles.
Yeah, anytime somebody mentions us on Twitter, I get a screenshot within minutes. That's the most fun part of the auction house process, is sitting around waiting for people to @.
It's been a blast for me. It's been a blast.
If only I had a Twitter.
Yeah, you should maybe get one. It's been destroying my life.
I think I have one, and I haven't logged in.
I think you actually followed me. No, I say you
I
followed
follow
me.
you and a bunch of paleontology graduate students.
Oh, okay.
So it's a nice mix. It's new dinosaur discovery, and then Michael retweeting stamp people.
It's mostly, I just retweet stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I liked this episode a lot.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. It gave me an excuse to take a walk around Rockefeller Center yesterday morning, which is always a pleasure. So if anyone else wants to hear about Paul Manship's sculpture, or maybe Edward Durrell Stone's design of Radio City, I'll be more than happy to give a lecture on that as well. The look of pain in your face. You're like, well, we're not actually going to do this.
Yeah, we can do an episode of that on your other podcast.
I think it's more fitting for this one. I think, I'll give you guys an architectural peek at Rockefeller.
No, it's super interesting stuff. All jokes aside, I mean, every
once in a while, I need to take my stamp hat off and put on my architectural fanboy hat. So, thank you for obliging me, and thank you to everyone who listened. If you made it through my segment, if you didn't, just skip right ahead to Michael.
Perfect.
This is fun. Let's do it again soon. But we'll have a new regular episode live in a couple of days with David Ball of the American Airmail Society.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Fantastic, Michael.
Great.
As always, great talking to you.
Yep. See you next time.
Sounds good.